And we are live on OverTime. Welcome to PhinsTalk OverTime. I'm your host, Bobby Melendez, and that right there is the famous, incomparable Miss Phins. Miss Phins, how you doing?
How you doing, guys? I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing all right. Tired, worked long day, but I'm here. We're ready to talk about the Dolphins and your
Let's
guy,
talk
Mike
Dolphins.
Gesicki.
My
You
man,
know,
you already know. I mean, 88.
that's right. That's right. So first off, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Steve, I see you, Fins Nation TV. I'm looking forward to having you on eventually. Everyone, if you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button to the Fins Talk Network, and come follow us on Twitter as well. And go to Miss Fins channel if you haven't already, and subscribe to that as well. She's on weekdays from 7 to 8
8 a.m. to 9.
Eastern time, 8 to 9 Eastern
Yes.
time. Which is funny because today, and of course, Brett Legassi is usually on with me here as my co-host, but he had a issue at home trying to avoid some flooding with his pool, so he will be off the show today. But TD should be on. I'm thinking around 8:30. He'll come on for a few minutes, and actually, maybe he'll be on a little bit. Actually, I think he's here. Let me go ahead and pop him in.
TD, can't see you. Your camera.
Yeah, I'm in a wide view. He would have to change the view that he.
Let's play around with it. I got it. Let me see what I can do here.
You just got to go with the wide, the number 2. Yeah.
There we go. Now we got everybody. Now there it is. TD, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. Yourself?
Doing all right, man. Thank you for coming on. I know you've been busy. You had a show earlier as well. I saw you on there.
I tried to get through it. I've been coughing my behind also.
Oh,
Same here.
All right, so let's get this ball rolling here, guys. And Miss Fins, I know, again, you're weekdays 8 to 9, and you were talking about Mike Gesicki. You got his jersey on. So let's start off with that and talk about that. You know, Gesicki the reports are he's going to play on his franchise tag. There's no extension or no discussions. They've kind of put that on hold. So with that, after Miami has acquired Tyreek Hill with the pair with Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Easy they drafted. I say that because I could butcher his last name, as Evan would know.
Ezukamna.
I know it. Don't show me up. But my question for you, before we get to the contract, I mean, are we expecting with Tyreek Hill a bump, or the new additions of the offense, a bump in Mike Gesicki's play, or do you think we're going to see him have a drop in his play?
Well, the one good thing about this season so far, at least in the offseason, we've been able to get more offensive weapons. So that's always a good thing. Who doesn't want more weapons? You know what I mean? As far as his production going down, you also have to consider the fact that it was him and Waddle taking most of the snaps or receptions, if you will, in the team. Most of them. But do I feel like his production is going to go down because we've added those players? No, I don't think so. Because even though we have Tyreek, we have Waddle, I think he's going to be very prominent in this offense. They're going to find ways to do it. Now, I could be super homer me and I'm like, he's going to do more. But realistic me is going to say it's either going to stay the same, around the same, if not maybe slightly less. The thing is, I do expect Tua to do a lot more each game, a lot more plays each game, and therefore I don't see that drop off, if there is a drop off, being too much.
Okay. What are you thinking, TD?
It'll be the same.
About the same production?
Yeah, I just saw a tweet on Twitter of Tua playing golf today in the bright sunlight, so it'll be the same.
You know, I will say this: the only spot where I think his stats will jump is touchdowns. I do predict that that part of his game will pick up because of Tyreek and Jalen and that kind of decoy, you know, and he'll get that benefit. Now, in terms of contract, I mean, you know, Miami, it has a buttload of tight ends, really. Gesicki obviously is more receiver than tight end, but, you know, he's in that contract stalemate right now. They're going to play on a contract year, TD. So my question for you is, do you predict, or do you believe that this is probably Gesicki's final year with the Dolphins, or do you think that he might have a good year and Miami's just going to go ahead and end up resigning this guy?
Well, that depends. If Tua is the guy, this will be his last year. If Tua is not the guy, you could see him further with the prolific quarterback. They're gonna want to keep all weapons and let this be an offensive juggernaut. If Tua balls out, they're gonna move on and start looking in different directions, start saving money.
It's an interesting take. That makes sense, though.
To prepare for the future. I think it's that simple. They already neglected to invest in them long term. It is what it is. It'll be very shocking to see him get a long term deal. But again, if Tua doesn't turn out to be the guy and they secure a guy like Brady, yeah, they'll lock him in long term.
What's your heart say, Miss Fins? I know your heart is in it for Gesicki, so I need to know what's the homer saying and what's the reality saying.
My homer me is gonna say he's a lifer. He's a Dolphins lifer because you can't. And okay, all jokes aside, obviously, if you don't know by now, Miss Fins, this is my favorite player. But in reality, you can't teach how to be a playmaker. And whenever you're a playmaker, that's something to hold weight. So that's why I feel like he does have that weight. I mean, if we were to talk to him about being a wide receiver, is he gonna be 1, 2, or 3? Probably not because we have other guys. But is he gonna be prominent in the offense? Yes. Now again, he's a playmaker, so they definitely want to see what they have in him before they make that decision. And like I said this morning, you want to check out my episode this morning. Um, if anything happens, it'll probably end up being mid season. We'll either see a contract or him being traded. That's really where I think it's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna lie, but the contract will probably be around mid-season. Trade will probably, if it doesn't happen by trade deadline, then it'll probably happen at the end. They'll probably try to do a transitional tag so they can get something for him.
Yeah, my mindset is this: you don't get rid of playmakers. I think you got to hold on to guys like that, especially. I mean, you could put them as a receiver. You still have Smythe and those guys. You don't know what you have in Hunter Long, but I'm not holding my breath. We'll see. But I would not want to get rid of him. However, TD makes a lot of sense. If Tua is the guy, they might feel more relaxed to say, okay, let's try another tight end, and we don't have to spend this much money. But if Tua is not the guy, and with everything they've done, and now you're going to go out and get another quarterback, whoever that may be, maybe number 12 somewhere, I don't know, or a rookie, then then you want to keep all those weapons, So that makes a lot of sense, and I appreciate that take. But for me, I would not want to get rid of him at all because of the type of playmaking he could contribute to the offense. Talking about the offense, though, the running back room, majority of everybody was talking about drafting a running back, whoever that could be, or signing a running back or doing something. And the Dolphins waited it out. They didn't draft nobody. Supposedly they were interested in Spiller. That didn't work out. But they go and get, of course, Sony Michel, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds. They still have Gaskin, and they still have Salvin Ahmed. So looking at this receiving room, the running back room, there's some talent there. Of course, I expect the receivers to have a lot of play in the running game as well. I expect that to kind of be mixed up, in my opinion. But when you look at this running back room, who is the odd man out? How many running backs do you think they keep? But who do you think gets cut?
Well, based on the scheme, if we have to go by what we've seen so far of Mike McDaniel running in the 49ers, they need running backs, because it's going to be running back by committee. But you're going to need bodies in that position. Now, as far as who do we keep, who's the odd man out, it's hilarious because I did my 53-man projection like a month ago just to see. But actually, the one that I think might be left out after Mostert, Michelle, and Chase is Savon Ahmed, in my opinion. I think he would have to, because we still have Derek Dose, we still have Zaquande White. I think those two could be what do you call it?
Practice squad.
Thank you, practice squad. But Ahmed, I think they can do without him having those two guys that are probably younger, and they can do it. If anything, it'll be between him and Dokes, who will probably be the one, in my opinion, that won't make the team. As far as making a team, Gaskins, Mostert, Sony, and Chase. Those are gonna be my 4 picks. And I think they carry at least 5.
Oh, okay.
4
Okay.
for sure, but I think they might even push it to 5 running backs. But 4, I think bare minimum, if not 5 running backs, and then if they keep any more, it'll probably be in the practice squad, maybe 1 or 2 more.
Gotcha. What are you thinking, TD?
First off, the running back room, they'll be fine for the simple fact we have so many now, and all of them, in my opinion, are capable of doing what each other can do. Just 4 guys, or whoever the 4th or 5th guy is, but 4 guys is what it's going to end up being. All of these guys are injury prone. And at the end of the day, they just got all of them, all of the middle of the road guys. They all have talent, but they're still all middle of the road guys. None of them have been the workhorse of their team outside of Sony Michel. To be quite honest with you, the most reliable, most dependable running back you have is Sony Michel. But will they treat him as such? I don't believe so, in my personal opinion. I think that they've invested in Mostert and Edmonds. They want them to be the guy because those are more McDaniel guys. But they're non-reliable at the end of the day. I mean, these guys have barely played full seasons, if any. Barely put up production from like 1,000-yard standpoint. But they're talented. But at the same token, we still don't have a workhorse running back. We don't have a guy who we feel like can just be the 1,000-yard back outside of maybe Sony Michel. Contractually, any of these guys can be on their way out the door. Mostert is the deal, whether he hurt or not. He's basically a 1-year, $2 million deal. And the dead cap is only 1 million. So you lose 1 million, you save 1 million if he don't make it, but he's probably gonna make it. That's a huge deal. All right. Then you got, Sony Michel, same situation, 1.75 million, 850,000 dead cap win for the Miami Dolphins. Either way, whether he makes it or not, it's not gonna, break the bank. It's not the end of the world. Now, don't forget, they're also listing Lynn Bowden as an RB as well. But that's the guy that I think they covet more than anything because he'll play that position. He'll play the wide receiver position, all of those things. But like as Finn said, when you go down to guys like Salvin Ahmed, this is where it kind of gets a little tricky because he's less than 1 million. He's only 900,000. But if you cut him, it ain't costing you nothing at all. So he has to actually be better than every guy on the roster to actually not be better than all of them, but he has to earn his roster spot. I mean, guys like Jared Dokes would have a leg up over him for the simple fact that they drafted him and he's less money, but when you're talking about those pennies, that's minuscule. They're not these contracts are so baby in the running back room. Now we didn't talk about Zaquandre White. They like what they see in him. Don't forget that we're talking about a young guy who basically has a 3-year deal. Of course, team friendly. We don't lose anything, but it's 1 million each year. This is why Ahmed is in trouble. It's guys like him that even if he makes the practice squad, he still shoves Ahmed out of the door. It's these little sleeper guys that no one's talking about that have a potential to actually make it on the roster. Did I miss anyone?
Spoke about Dokes.
No, I
Gaskin.
didn't.
Let me ask you about.
No, I didn't talk about Chase and Gaskin.
Chase and Gaskins.
So Chase is the guy I think that they want to be the guy. In my opinion, he's the one that they invested the most money in. They literally gave a man a 2-year, $12 million deal. Now remember, it's a 1-year deal because the guaranteed money is about $6 million. So he's a $5.5 million cap hit with a $6 million dead cap. He's making the roster no matter what. He's a guaranteed on this roster. He got his money and he got his guarantees. So Chase Edmonds is the guy that I think they're looking to for him to be the one that steps up because he's the only one with real money. He's the only one that will be on the roster. It would be literally mind-blowing if he wasn't. So with that being said, Chase is getting your RB1 money. Okay. Yeah. But then you look at Gaskins, it's not easy sellings for him either because he's not a McDaniel guy. And on top of that, his salary jumps from $850,000 last year all the way up to $2.5 million this year. But he's a $21,000 dead cap. They could save $2.5 million by moving on from Gaskins. So he's gonna be tough sledding too. He gonna have to show why they gotta pay him that money. Otherwise, he's gone. They saved $2.5 million and they got all these other capable running backs. Gaskins is in trouble.
It's a great point. Yeah, Chase Edmonds is my projected starter going into this season. You think about cap, but also kind of he fits that system really well. And I see you, Steve. I see you, Evan, on there in the comments, and you're right. Alec Ingold, can't forget about him. He'll have a hand in the running back situation as well. I think he'll be an impact player for Miami. I think people are sleeping on him. I think Gaskin is probably has trade potential. I think I could see him probably being moved before the season starts. I don't think he'll be a straight cut. But White, and TD brought up White, and I think that's a great point because the Dolphins, it's reported the Dolphins like him, and they drafted him with McDaniel, so he's a fit in that system. So I expect him more than likely to be on this opening day roster, and Ahmed is a good point about being out, probably be the odd man out, maybe Gaskin as well, and he'll probably be traded rather than cut. What do you guys think about Ingold as we're talking about the running backs? And I apologize for not even thinking about that, Steve. Thank you, sir, for bringing it up. But Ms. Fins, do you have any thoughts on Alec Ingold and what he might be to this Dolphins offense?
I think Ingold, we finally have a dedicated fullback, if you will. And if I'm not mistaken, I think every team in the AFC East does have a fullback. I could be wrong. There could be one, but I think we all have a fullback in our teams. I'd have to double check that. But as far as for Ingold, I expect him to just to be a kind of like a truck driver. Honestly, just opening up lanes and really just giving the protection for Tua as well when needed, but really just opening it up for the other running backs that we have. He's going to be utilized well, and that's probably one of the most, besides running back, one of the other most utilized positions that Mike McDaniel had in San Francisco. So we'll have to see how he uses him, but for me, he makes the team. There's no way. I know we have John Lovett, but I'm not worried about it. Yeah. He's definitely shoo-in for making the team. I think he's going to really just be just a pile driver and just open it up for other running backs for us.
When discussing him a couple weeks back, TD, and I'll get to you right now, but when discussing his impact to the team, I'm forgetting the guy's name in San Francisco because Mike McDaniel's had success with fullbacks, obviously. But when I'm trying to, thank you, the player I kind of compare him to, obviously he's better, but he's I think he'll be more of like a Charles Clay type of player. If for Dolphin fans who remember Charles Clay, fullback, tight end, and a running back, kind of playing multiple roles, just kind of how McDaniel played the fullback in San Francisco. But that's how I kind of view how he might be with this Dolphins team. But TD, do you have thoughts on Alec Ingold and what he can mean to the Dolphins this season?
He'll be the secret weapon.
Yes.
I think Ingold's skill set is perfect for Tua. Stretch the field and let Ingold get all the little small underneath stuff slipping out of the backfield. You got to realize when he was with the Raiders how he was being utilized, man. This guy, they even I remember they'll motion him out in the flat sometimes. And they'll run 2 streakers down the field, and Ingle will just sit there by the sideline. And when the field is stretched, they just throw it to Ingle, and he uses his fullback power to just run forward, put his head down, and get yards. Whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5. But he's also shifty. He's also skilled. He's not your typical just hard-nosed blocker. Yeah. He's actually a scat back runner, receiver. They used him in very creative ways in Oakland, and it was Oakland at the time, right?
Yeah.
Well, Las Vegas, and I think he's gonna be Tua's secret weapon. He's gonna be the guy who's gonna be responsible to keep the drive going for Tua. And when we say 3rd and 2, it's not going to be the run and him the lead block, but him catching the ball or the delayed screens, and sometimes flexing out on a 3rd and 2 for a 12-yard pass on a corner route, because he's done it. You go look at his film. He's done it. He does it. He's the secret weapon this year. I'm telling y'all, you can look at Ingle securing 35 receptions, man.
Ooh, I like that.
35 receptions. I think that if our offense is explosive as it could be, they're going to need him to do that. And this is Tua's best friend. This is the guy who can make or break Tua this year. If Tua uses him properly. Now I have questions. See, this is the problem though. You dial up a play. If the play is for Ingold, Tua's going to eat all day. But if the play is just a normal play and nothing's there and you need to check down to Ingold, that's the issue. Because is Tua going to process the 3 levels of the field?
Yeah,
is he going to remember? Go look at the film last year. You had the running backs wide open all day when nothing was open, like just sitting on the side of you. And I always say this, but I can't prove it because I don't know. I'm not on the field. But sometimes it looks like Tua doesn't see him at all over the line. There'll be running backs 5 yards past the line of scrimmage wide open, and he's looking that way, but 2 big linemen are fighting in front of him, and I don't think he even sees it. So that's going to be the story when it comes to Ingold. Are they going to draw up plays to go for him, or because I don't have the faith that Tua is going to read the levels of the field to take advantage of him. If they scheme for him, Tua will eat all day with him. But how any real quarterback would use him, you got to read the levels and give it to him when nothing else is there. And I don't know if we're going to be able to execute that because Tua is trying to hit that first read if he can.
I have to say, I mean, his point, TD's point on Ingold, I felt like I was at Sunday service. I was at Mass listening to it. He was preaching. I thought I was talking to Pastor TD for a second. Damn, that was some preaching. I mean, and you're absolutely right, though. And it makes a lot of sense what you're talking about with Tua, that, yeah, if the place is set up for Ingold, he'll get it. He'll get it to the guy because he eyes his guy. You know, but if it's a play where something's breaking down around him, that's where it's kind of messing up. Awesome. So let me ask you guys this then, because I kind of see where this is going on. I'm so glad. That's why when Saturday I had my PhinsTalk Today show with my co-host Hank, and we got a little bit debate. You know, we started debating on position ranks, and then a lot of Dolphin fans believe the Dolphins are contenders this season, and I get it. It's Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike McDaniel is like an exciting hire for fans and for us or whatever. And the defense, we think they're going to be the second half defense, not the first half defense. So I also asked, but what puts the Dolphins in danger of being pretenders? And that's what caused some debate. So I was like, I definitely want to get your guys' opinions on this. And TD, I saw you there in the comments there on PhinsTalk today, so I appreciate you. And that's why I was like, I got to ask TD to come on the show because I love to get his take on this live. But first, positions, okay? And I think of it like this, 1 through 8. 1 being the strongest, 8th being the weakest. Okay, quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line, D line, linebackers, corners.
You're going 1 through 8. What does that mean?
Yes. So if let's say wide receiver is the strongest unit for the Dolphins, they're number 1.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And your weakest is going to be number 8. So, Miss Fins, I'll start with you, and if you're okay with that, TD, I'll let you follow up. But what's your strongest and weakest units right now for the Dolphins?
So, I haven't done the position ranking overall yet, but just to go off the top of my head, I would actually have to say, okay. Well, definitely would have to be in the defense. I'll put it to you this way. For me, defense will be number 1. So for me, cornerback, safeties, those would be, I don't know if you're putting them together or not.
Yeah, those defensive backs are their own group. Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to be my number 1, in my opinion. Defensive line would be number 2. I'm a defensive girl, so.
Gotcha.
As far as the rest, what am I? 2 to 8, right?
Yeah, 2 to 8. So 3 now. So 1 and 2 is defensive backs and defensive line. So your third strongest unit.
Okay, my third strongest unit, I would say. Actually, I'd have to go with. Oh man. See, the thing is, some of them, they're kind of toss-ups for me, so that's why I don't really feel like they're too much, but, okay, so let me just run down to them, and that's it. So, in this case, let me go 8 up.
Okay. Weakest unit.
Number 8. It's going to definitely be offensive line, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
7, quarterback.
Okay.
And I know that seems really low, but that's just the way that I see it personally. 5th, let's see here. I don't even know who I've named. I'm going all over the place.
You're good. So
let me write this down, man. Yeah, I got. So I write this down. I'm a visual person. You know what I mean?
I get it, girl. Take
6,
your time.
7, 8. Okay, defensive O-line.
It's an interesting exercise because
now are we doing?
Go ahead. No,
go ahead, TD. Go ahead, TD.
Are we doing secondary as a unit or DBs as a unit and safeties as a unit? Are we doing defensive line as a unit or interior defensive line and edge?
So defensive backs are together. So safety and corner. Okay. Defensive line is all together. Offensive line all together. Yeah.
Okay.
Tight ends, running backs, and wide receivers, they're separate. Just 8 spots.
Okay. So then wide receivers are my number 3.
Okay.
So I have DBs number 1, defensive line number 2, wide receivers number 3, running backs 4, 5. I'll give it to the tight ends. Actually no. I'm gonna put tight ends at 6, and then as 5. Who am I missing? Linebackers. We have to. Oh. Well, then in that case, I'm going to put linebackers at 5 and then tight ends at 6.
Okay.
So that'll be my 1 through 8. DBs, defensive line, wide receiver, running back, linebackers, tight end,
quarterback,
QB, and offensive line is the last one.
All right. What are you thinking, TD?
If I need a few qualifiers first. So, do we typically lump guys like Alec Ingold in the running back room or the tight end room? I usually put him in the tight end room.
Oh, that's interesting. I would usually put him in the running back room. That's what I usually put the fullback. So, but that's a good point because again, I think of that Charles Clay type of player, obviously better version of it.
Because that's what he is. He's more of that type of player than just this hard-nosed blocker, which he can. You know, he's actually a weapon as well.
Yeah, go for it. Let's put him in the tight end room.
All right. So the strongest group on the team is the secondary. Now, if we subbed it out, I have to say this as an honorable mention. If we subbed it out where we broke up the units, I would say interior defensive line. With Christian Wilkins, Zach Zeiler, and Raekwon Davis. Because I said earlier, I think Raekwon Davis has the potential to be the difference maker in this being a historic defense or not, because he can make up for the lack of the, what I believe our linebacking core is. But anyway, number 1, strength on the team, secondary. Okay. Number 2, strength on the team, defensive line. And that's because of the scheme that we run here in Miami. Number 3, I'm going to go with the tight end room before the receivers. And the reason why, we have our premier playmaker, Mike Gesicki. If anybody noticed, last year, all those guys following behind, they did their job and they did it well. They were not dropping balls. They do their job. They catch the quick passes. They block best as they can. They are solid. Nobody's even mentioning them. Nobody's talking about them. All we think about is the big name Gesicki, but that unit as a whole does their job. And you add Alec Ingle to it, now that's a dynamic unit, in my opinion. The way that we can use that unit and be creative, sneakily using that unit, is going to be so amazing this year if Mike McDaniel is the genius that I hope he is, right? So that's 3. I put the wide receiver group number 4 only because you got Tyreek and Waddle. Ain't nothing else proven. You don't have the depth. Oh, Cedric Wilson, where is he proving anything? He got a little shot when Amari Cooper went down and made a few plays. He played just as well as Jakeem Grant did for us when he had to come in and make plays, until he had a primary role in the offense, and then it didn't look the same, right?
Good
so
point.
I can't base that off of your smaller sample size. Do you have the talent? Absolutely. But y'all know me. I'm the type of person, once you prove it, I'll rave about it. But until then, I don't know who you are yet until you do it. Okay? So when you get a full season and you got to be that guy, let's see what you do on the field. With Miami. So it's a depth thing with me. I know Lynn Bowden is there, but he's been on the shelf for years. And I know Lynn Bowden is that dude, but at the same token, if you're that dude, dang, they've been hiding you. Dudes get out there, them dudes get out there front streak as soon as possible. I know there's some injury concerns, but again, that's a concern. So wide receiving core, many would think is way higher, but you got 2 dogs, and everything after that is, you know what I mean? And I used this comment earlier. If Tyreek Hill got hurt, we're the same unit as last year. We're the same unit as last year. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say Cedric Wilson is just better than Devontae Parker. So that's where I'm at with it. They're number 4. And from there, it ain't on the positive spectrum. It's just, it ain't the best units. It's just, the units in order. After the tight ends, I got the running back unit by committee, a whole bunch of guys we just talked about who hasn't proved to stay healthy. That's 5. Number 6, I got the quarterback room. Ain't nothing, jumping over the top until it's proven, but that's around number 6 to me. At least I know those guys in the running back room are talented and they've showed that they could be good players. It's just, can they stay on the field and can they become the primary guy? So, yeah, number 7, what's left?
Linebackers and O-line.
Oh, Jesus, this is a good one. This is a good one. I got to put the linebackers to number 7. Can I? I don't like our linebacking core like many do. I really think that we have a bad unit, hoping that Tyndall just comes in and saves the day. We got a whole bunch of guys who can make plays because of the scheme that we're in. So, but just straight up, they either can run defend or they can pass defend. Tell me who else on this roster doing both right now. Who on this roster is proven to be able to do both? I'll wait. So I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of our linebacking core. I'm just being honest. I'm excited about Channing. Hopefully he starts to turn that around. So, I I gotta go linebackers, then O-line. I wanted to go O-line before them because of Armstead. But again, they're last because Armstead can't even play a full season. It's been 8 years in a row. You ain't seen 16 games. The man averaging like 11 games, 9, 10, 11 games a season. So we hope that we playing the best teams in the league when he healthy. So, and Connor Williams, they experimenting with him at center.
At center, yep.
So we don't know what that's going to look like. And Robert Hunt, thank you for that one savior. And everything else,
it's a mystery.
Let's see this year. So that's my 8 in order.
I'm telling you, this is like we're at a church service right now. All he's doing is preach.
No. We're gonna take the O-line out of there. We're gonna give the special team some love.
The
man, O-line don't even rank, TD. That's what you're saying.
y'all don't understand. I know we went and got Teron Armstead.
I know.
The big boss of them all.
Yeah.
But he got to stay on this field, y'all.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
You know what? On the field. Do y'all know this man is technically still recovering?
Yeah.
Nobody's been talking about that. He ain't been in no freaking OTAs like that. So
listen,
we'll see about training camp.
No, and that's the thing right there. See, so Evan has defensive backs, wide receivers, D-line, running backs, quarterback, tight end, offensive line, linebackers. Donald and Irene, defensive backs, defensive L, defensive line, wide receiver, because Parker is gone, enough said. Tight end at 4, linebackers, offensive line is number 6, running back at 7, and 8 is quarterback. QB. Yeah. So
too many unknowns.
For me, what's up, Cat for Life? So for me, mine's first was defensive backs was number 1. I won't go through the whole list, and then of course we're all matching here. And then number 8 was offensive line, and that's what was getting me to this next question here, was because we all had offensive line as the weak unit last year. Offensive line was the weak unit. This offseason, everybody was saying we need to fix this offensive line. We need to do something. Now, it's still the weakest unit on and people can say, well, we signed Teron Armstead, but he hasn't lasted a season, TD's point. Connor Williams, ranked 11th best guard in the NFL, but he got pulled a couple games because he had like 14 or 11 to 14 penalties. Now they're experimenting him at center. They're not even trying him out at left guard. So who's left guard? Who's your right tackle? We know we got Robert Hunt at right guard. So there's still a question mark. So your prayer is, talking about church and praying and preaching, your prayer is that the coaching staff makes the difference. That's
with
your
these
prayer.
5 coaches we have for the O-line, they better be unlocking all these players. That's all I'm saying. At least that's what I was told. So that's what I expect.
If I know a lot of people are saying, because we got Tyreek and we got Jalen and Mystery with Cedric and Eazy-E and Lynn Bowden. We all expect Tua to have a breakout year. Most people do, right? But his offensive line hasn't really changed. He got a left tackle, but his blind side is the right side. So this is my question, guys. Miami had an active offseason, okay? At first, people were scratching their heads until they got Teron Armstead. Then everybody was happy because, we got ourselves a tackle. We needed more than a tackle, but we got one tackle. Then we had Connor Williams, I think, before that. Then they made the surprising trade and got Tyreek, which was awesome. One of the top playmakers in the NFL. Absolutely. So, of course, this is not the first time this has happened before. The Dolphins helped their young quarterback. They get a star wide receiver. Parcells did that with Chad Henne and got Brandon Marshall for 2 seasons. They did that for Ryan Tannehill, Jeff Ireland, where I think was the GM back then, and they got Mike Wallace for 2 seasons. Now it's Tyreek Hill. Right now, Dolphin fans are on a high, and I get it. My hope is that it works out. However, Steve says TD has converted me. That's awesome. My question is, the contenders, yes, I can see a lot of people saying contenders, but what puts the Dolphins in jeopardy of being pretenders, TD?
Pretenders?
Yeah. What can put them in jeopardy of being pretenders and not contenders this season?
It's a problem. There's too many factors that can. I'm just going to say there's 10 factors. See, I just shot that number off, but I'm going to give it a try. Factor number 1, Tua doesn't play well. Factor number 2, Tua gets hurt. And the backup don't play well. Factor number 3, right tackle still a train wreck. Factor number 4, Armstead is who he is, a great player that only plays 10 games. Fact number 5, any one receiver getting injured, as we've had every year for the last 50 years. Factor number 6, any one of them running backs that we signed all that get injured every year. Factor number 7, X or Byron hurt a few games like they have been the last few years while we couldn't run the same defense consistently. Number 6, can't stop the run. Linebacker still ain't good, and Raekwon doesn't take the next step in that situation. Now I'm running out of them. Let me see. We at 7 right now. Factor number 8, the Flores effect is no longer on us on that defense.
Discipline.
Factor number 9, first year head coach. We don't know what to expect. We all out here assuming like anybody else. But some people say they already feel Adam Gase vibes. I don't, but I'm just saying. First year head coach. Let's not sit here and give somebody a trophy already. And factor number 10, everybody else got better. Everybody else got better. You got better just as much as everybody else. That typically puts you right back in the same spot.
That's right. Same playing field.
So as much as we've have improved, if you go look at the AFC and look at how much those teams improved, you ain't really moved as far as you think you did. Some of these teams already had a Tyreek. 2 of them. Some of these teams already got a solidified running back. We got 4 of them hoping that 2 of them can stay healthy.
Damn.
Half of them already got a top flight O-line. And some that didn't just loaded up better than us. Some of them already had number 1 defenses. Buffalo, Kansas City. Look at what the Chargers did. So, and last, I'll get off this horse.
Oh God! I'm reading the comments
thing,
as he's going. And I love it. It's awesome. Go for it.
The last thing is 8 of them already got a franchise quarterback.
Bada bing. Evan writes, I need to go to confession and I'm Jewish. What are you thinking, Miss Vince?
Why? Because I'm Jewish too? What? Oh, well, honestly, TD, I mean, I feel like the common theme, let's be real, people, is injury, period. Every team has to go about it, but because, and to TD's point, and I've said this before, we did do better for Dolphin standards, but we still haven't done enough for AFC standards. That's the problem. Because if we were here and the teams were up here and we surpassed, but then all they did was like 2 things and they already way back up. It's like, it's not even fair at this point. It's for us. Okay, look, like me, don't like me, I don't care. Hot take, okay? It's the QB position. That's it. Change the QB position, and this has nothing to do with Tua, but any other 1 to 3 year QB that's in the league right now, with the exception of 2, Herbert and Burrow. Take those 2 out and put any other 1, 2, or 3 year QB, and we would be in the exact same position. So it's not about Tua. Get off your feelings, people. But it is the QB. The fact that right now, we're projecting, I've done this before on my show, 19th overall offense, but in reality, that's overall. in the AFC, we're 12th. We gotta get to what, 7? Who are we gonna beat? Like, what other teams are we gonna beat? Because right now we're going against 10 Pro Bowl QBs, and the problem is we don't have a Pro Bowl QB. I don't even like the Patriots, and they have a Pro Bowl QB. Unfortunately, I don't even know how, because I would take Tua over Mac Jones any day. Because Tua, he has that upside. Mac Jones is a system quarterback. Take him out of that system, I don't think he's going to produce the same. So for me personally, even though we did a lot for Dolphin standards, we still haven't done enough for AFC standards, and we're right back in that same wheel where usually, man, we did so great in the offseason just to be let down in the regular season. And injuries, yes, every team has to deal with it. Take a look at the Baltimore Ravens. They were the hottest team in the league until they were hit by that injury bug, and they literally became the Jets. So, I mean, and even the Jets themselves had a decent team, and they got injured left and right too. So, to be honest, when it comes to the Dolphins at this point, have we done enough? No. Why? Because we still have that giant quarterback question mark, and until that's resolved, we won't know.
Yeah.
And once that happens, then we can determine whether or not the moves that we've made so far are actually going to make a difference.
Why do you put Mac Jones over Tua over Mac Jones?
Personally, I put Tua over Mac Jones.
Yeah,
because I personally feel like Tua has a lot more upside than Mac Jones.
Why?
TD, are you trying to make me a Tony?
No, I'm saying
I knew it was
how can Tua have a higher ceiling when Mac had a lower bottom? You know, it's like Mac has way more room to grow, in my opinion, than Tua, because Mac, where was he drafted?
He was drafted 10th, if I'm not mistaken, or 13th.
Not 5th. And how many years did he get in the league so far?
1.
And not 2. And I don't see where I'm giving Tua a higher upside here.
He's a product of his environment. He has a Super Bowl winning head coach.
Okay.
And on top of that, too, his team was set up with the system that would best benefit and highlight what he's better at.
Their system it was very similar to what we did. It was just that we didn't do all the faking of the handoffs. I don't see where he was catered to more. I mean, he got 2 tight ends. I mean, what receivers did he have? If you want to talk about our receiving group, who had the better receiving group?
Look what you did.
Well, if you want to count Gesicki, then it would be Waddle and Gesicki.
Way better than what they had over there. You had 2 tight ends they paid money to, and they didn't even show up.
12.5. Oh, one of them half showed up. Hunter Henry did half. I said half show up. Juno, I don't know what happened to him. Or Jonnu Smith. Both of them getting $12.5 million, and
Hunter Henry showed up.
I said half showed up.
Yeah, halfway. I'm just saying. I just gotta say, I don't see where Tua has this higher upside than Mac. Mac is already a year behind. Mac was a lower prospect coming in and already exceeding Tua's play. Not by much, but he's already exceeding his play.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Putting Tua in the right situation, which is what we're this year, from what we're seeing in this offseason, is going to allow him to be able to be not the Alabama Tua, because I've said this in my show, and I know you heard me, Brett, before. Hot take again, people. We will never see Alabama Tua again. But can he still be productive and a successful NFL QB? Yes, he can. It's all up to him.
Yeah, look, but again, setting him up in the system, he didn't have anything. That's all I'm saying. He didn't have anything.
I feel like that's my point. Hence why he would do better.
No,
Or maybe.
Mac didn't have anything.
Oh, you're saying Mac Jones, not Tua.
Yeah, he didn't have anything.
Uh, he did not have everything. He didn't have he didn't have a complete team. But then again, I'm not gonna put it past having a head coach like he did.
Okay.
They used the tools that they had to the best of their abilities and made it to the playoffs.
I,
And they were
I, I,
only
okay, yeah, my bad.
no. Go ahead.
I just don't understand. Our team was good enough to beat them twice, but I just don't get it.
You're really making me have to defend Tua, and I really don't want to.
No, I mean, I know a lot of people love to say that just automatically, but I just, I don't see it now. I mean, he had a running game. I'll give you that. That was a big help for Mac Jones, but outside of that, they had to have a running game because he had no receivers. No outside threat.
They had no receivers. We had no running game. I mean, it kind of equals out in that sense. If you
and which one tells more about the quarterback, but yet one still outplayed the other. Like you would expect Tua to outplay him throwing the ball since we had receivers and no running backs, and you would think that Mac Jones underperformed throwing the ball because he had no receivers but had running backs, right? But that ain't how it worked.
No, it isn't.
I'm just saying. A lot of people bash Mac Jones, and all he's done is come in and do his job at a basic level. And at the same token, who knows what this kid's ceiling is in this league? Because what he does have that Tua struggles with is the mental aptitude to be able to identify coverages and read defenses pre and post snap. So that can carry him a long way, and we'll see what this year holds. I can't wait to week one. Lord, I can't wait.
Seriously, that's going to determine our entire first 5 games will determine our entire season.
Well, and I'll just say I don't think it's an accident just on this point, and we'll continue there. But I don't think it's an accident that Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle both said when they were coming out that they prefer Mac over Tua.
No, they mentioned that because Tua was already in the system. He was already drafted.
I don't believe that.
They said it. He was already drafted. If they can help out Mac to get drafted too, they would. That's what they said. Personally, I don't agree either. I think they do pick Mac over Tua, but I'm just going by what they said. You know what I mean? Hey,
I hear you. I just think it's not I think they did it on purpose. But for me, just what can make the Dolphins. I know we have some Evan here is having an attack, but I don't see it as being negative. I just see it being realistic and cautiously optimistic. Everybody's high right now on all these things, but the truth is you got to look at everything and all plausible deniability, whatever you want to call it. But like for me, when you look at the defense, are we getting the first half defense? Or are we getting the second half defense? If we get if it's Flores who was the one really manning that defense, and it wasn't Josh Boyer or Gerald Alexander, who's now gone as well, then we might have the first half defense where we were on that losing streak. It's not the elite defense that we thought it was going to be, which it was in the second half. Is the injuries to the offensive line is still the weakest unit, according to us, according to most. If that doesn't, I thought, we were supposed to focus on offensive line, give Tua a chance. If offensive line is still trash, what chances Tua really have? Just even with Tyreek or Jalen or Cedric or Mike Gesicki. So, and then of course quarterback, that's a big one, and you brought it up. That's another reason why, to me, Miami could be. I'm saying we all talk about Dolphin fans in general, saying contenders because we're high on the big signings and the prospect of being good. But reality is they're in very much danger of being pretenders very fast, and especially if Mike McDaniel is not who we hope he's going to be, and he ends up just being another Adam Gase or whatever. And I don't want to put that on him, but if he's not the teacher, that we think is going to help offensive line and help Tua reach some sort of potential or whatever, if he's not that guy, it's going to get bad very quick for Miami. Let me go ahead and check this here. Now, since we're on that, is Flores not to blame for the first half defense? That's the thing. Evan writing in the comment there. That was the big mix-up, right? Everybody was saying they said first it was Josh Boyer calling the first half defense, and then Flores took over in the second half, and the defense got good. Then they switched up. Said no, Gerald Alexander. I think the coach, the defensive backs coach, said his wife said that no, it was Alexander who called the second half defense. So we don't know. That's the mystery of it. Bobby's becoming Dennis Green. All right. Well, let's go to true and false here. I know we're running up to an hour here, and I appreciate Edie and Miss Fins joining us here on Overtime. We're having a great discussion. You haven't yet hit that like and subscribe button. If you haven't yet, also go after this. Go to Miss Fins' page on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe. She's on every day. I mean, great content in the morning when you're driving to work. And of course, I'm sure you all have it. If you haven't, go to TD PhinsTalk and go like and subscribe to his page as well. Great Dolphins content, real Dolphins content too. But okay, guys, we're gonna do some true and false, and we'll go 1-2. Okay, it's pretty simplistic. If you want to add to it, you go right ahead. Okay, but it's pretty simplistic. I'll tell you a statement, and you tell me false, true, and if you want to add something to it, you go right ahead. Okay, before we close this out. But Ms. Fins, I'll start with you. Tyreek Hill's been making a lot of noise this offseason since coming to the Dolphins. First saying that Tua is more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. He's saying that Tua is going to make people regret, blah, blah, blah. Does Tyreek Hill believe what he's saying about Tua? Does he actually believe what he's saying publicly?
Well, first of all, I'd like to have the superpower of reading minds, but unfortunately, I don't have that superpower. But a traditional person would say that he's there to support his QB. So I think he does mean it in the sense that he wants to support his QB.
True or false?
True.
Okay. What are you thinking, TD?
If Tyreek Hill was inebriated, then true, he believes it.
Listen, he already got paid, so
Tyreek knows good and well he don't believe it. He don't care. He's just doing what he needs to do. Tyreek know good and well he just stirring up for the podcast at the end of the day. Because if he truly believed that, then Chris Greer need to be fired now for even making that deal. So he don't believe it. It's false. Okay. At all.
So start with GTD and then Miss Fins. Tyreek Hill will have a career year this season. Best year as a receiver in the NFL.
If he's inebriated, he will. Tyreek, oh man. This will probably be his lowest producing year. He may end up with 900 to 1,000 yards flat. Anything over that is potentially taken out of the pockets of Waddle. So it could really hurt Waddle pretty bad. So I just think that they need to spread the love. 999. Waddle, Gesicki, Tyreek. That's the goal. 999, 900 each for all of them.
A politician said that. Wasn't that a text? That just brought me back. 999. I'm trying to remember. Herman Cain. That's right. All right, I remember that guy. That was his tax thing. Maybe
I'm inebriated, but no.
I wonder what.
I guess that's not water because it's overtime. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, one of the guys can break out and get around 12, and the other get 1,000. It can happen. But this definitely won't be the best season he's ever had. Not even close. I think he needs to cut those expectations by at least 300 yards and maybe four or five touchdowns. But yeah, false.
But good point. So, and people are commenting here. They're saying false as well. They're saying about allowing others to grow and spreading the wealth. 999. So, Ms. Fins, what do you think? Is true or false?
Actually, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, false. There's no point in this. Like, come on, man. First of all, you have mini Tyreek, which is Waddle. He's gonna want him to develop anyway, so he'll take off the heat from Tyreek, so then Tyreek can do stuff. But this is certainly gonna be one of his most. I don't know about his lowest productive, but maybe second lowest, if we're being honest. Because if you think about it, Tua got to do at least 4,000 yards. At least 4,000 yards. You gave everybody 900 each. You're talking about what, 20?
No, I mean you're gonna
With
have several.
2,800.
You're gonna have a few people with 300 here, 400
That's what I'm
there.
saying, because the rest is
Yeah.
going to come from the rest of the team. But really, realistically speaking, maybe one of those guys gets to 1,000. It might actually end up being Waddle, but I don't see Tyreek having the best. The best? Absolutely not. No, not even close to the best year that he's ever had. But he can still be productive and still, again, wide receiver by committee. I'll leave it at
So,
that.
so I've heard this from a few people, Ms. Fins, and this is the next one here. I say it's false, and I'm not trying to be negative. I just think there's just too much talent around the league, especially in the AFC. But will Tua make the Pro Bowl?
You gonna ask me first?
If every quarterback in the NFL is inebriated,
I mean, it would take a lot of injuries on other teams, and to be
That's a bit of comment for every
look,
inebriated.
this is frustrating. This is
5
frustrating.
quarterbacks will have to decline.
Well, 2 of them. Oh, God. Look, first and foremost, okay, is Tua gonna make the Pro Bowl this year? Anybody that thinks so is a super homer, because unfortunately, it would take a lot for Tua to actually make the Pro Bowl this year, because it is a popularity contest. He may have half of the Dolphin fans, but even throughout the league, he's not all that entirely loved, because people see the struggle that we are as a fan base going. Like half of the regular fans, they don't even have to be Dolphins fans, don't necessarily believe in him either. And it is a popularity contest. So he would have to do so much, like wow everybody, for him to make the Pro Bowl. And I don't think he's going to do that. That would take him doing 4,500 yards, at least 39 to 42 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 12 interceptions at most. He would have to almost have an MVP type year, and then he would be considered for the Pro Bowl. I mean, that's just, now I did have an episode that could he be our dark horse MVP? Yeah, but it's gonna take everything to click right, and the injuries to not be so bad, for us to be able to, for him to be a Pro Bowler, in my opinion. So no, false. He's not making it.
Is the Pro Bowl back in
Squash.
Is the Pro Bowl back in Hawaii?
If it's in Hawaii, then he might.
He may attend.
So he might go as a guest. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. And I have to respond.
Go back home.
Yeah. Let me just go back here. If Tua's not making the Pro Bowl, why are we wasting time here? What are we doing? Look, I don't think Tua needs to make the Pro Bowl. He doesn't need to be something great. He just needs to protect the football, be a game manager, and don't lose football games. I mean, that's my mindset. I mean, I think of it more of a Chad Pennington type of role. I'm not going to overhype him or nothing. That's where I think he needs to be. So in my opinion, he doesn't need to make the Pro Bowl to be a successful quarterback.
Yeah, you do. Listen, I've changed my stance in as quick as a week. I've been singing this tune for a month and a half now. He ain't got to be Brady. He ain't got to be Rodgers. He just got to be this and that, and this. I'm done. Nope.
Welcome back to the dark side.
At the end of the day, we are the 10th best roster in the NFL. We are the 6th best roster in the AFC. That 6th best roster in the AFC ain't just by happen because of defense. Most of them teams ahead of us, them 5 other, are led by their offense. And 2 or 3 teams are led by both defense and offense, like Buffalo. Like the Chargers, they rank their defense up there now, but their offense was already on point. They already up there, and I'm sick of it. At the end of the day, I ain't got time for the 6th seed losing in the first and second round.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, how are you going to build this roster from this point forward to get that much better than them other teams? At some point, you only leave room for one position to be better. At some point, one position got to compete.
Hold up. I'm going to have to ask this real quick. I'm taking over overtime. Sorry.
You got to be great, man.
But TD,
You got to be
I
great.
gotta ask this question though. If that's the case, then are the Miami Dolphins just a quarterback away from making the playoffs
I've been said that, but forget the
or
playoffs.
the Super Bowl? The
That's
Super
it.
Bowl.
Said
The
the same
Super
thing.
Bowl.
So are we the 2020 right to 2020
Rams.
no
Oh.
Bucks? Are we the 2020 Bucks?
Yep.
Are you
So
going
we're
there?
a quarterback away.
Why
Are
not?
you
Go. Evaluate the team mano a mano. We got the defense, don't we?
Yes, we do. 1,000%.
Who they had on the outside? We got the weapons now.
We got the weapons now, barring
I mean,
injuries, obviously.
They didn't have like a running game to where they were just that's the workhorse. See, and
No,
that's
but they
another
brought
thing.
in talent,
See,
which
this
we
is
just
what-
did.
This is what aggravates me, especially with a run game. People would be like, "Oh, the Bucks had a good run game." Let me tell you something. Yeah, they had a good run game, but never underestimate how good it was because of Tom Brady. How good it was because of on a pass play, he saw the alignment and switched it to a run and got 7 yards. That's what Tom Brady can do. That's what the Peyton Mannings do. See, nobody talk about that aspect of making the run game better. Knowing you got a pass play call, but based off of the way the defense is set up, man, I could gash him for 6 yards right here. Why I'm gonna risk putting it in the air for this 7-yard slant? I can gash him for a quick 6, 2nd and 4. Let's go. You see what I mean? Nobody talk about that level of aptitude, man. So yeah, they had a good run game, but at the same token, that had a lot to do with the quarterback in general, man.
So we're a quarterback away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yes, we are. Because
Let's
I
do
tell
it.
you what, I could name 5
Let's do it.
quarterbacks right now. If they were on the Miami Dolphins, every Dolphin fan would think that we had a chance to win it.
Give me the quarterback. Who are those 5 quarterbacks right now? Yes, we're taking over
Miss
overtime,
Fins,
guys. This
Miss
is Miss Fins.
I could
and
probably
TD PhinsTalk.
I could probably name 10. I just said 5 to be modest. I mean, come on. Who don't think Brady wouldn't lead this roster to the Super Bowl?
Come on.
Who don't think Aaron Rodgers couldn't lead this roster to a Super Bowl?
I can't stand him, but of course.
Who don't think of Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes,
Yep.
Josh Allen?
Yep.
Who don't think these guys can lead a team like this to a playoff? Think about a Lamar Jackson with this speed. Come on, man. The Russell Wilson. Herbert will lead this team to a Super Bowl, in my opinion. With this defense,
he already took this.
If Herbert had this defense, screw Burrow. Screw Burrow. If Herbert had this defense, he got it now. He got it now. You look at how many games Herbert lost putting up 30 points.
Different game, John. Different type of football. Sorry, guys. I'm responding to a comment there.
No, definitely. Definitely.
But John was just saying, Bobby, Bob Greasy won 2 Super Bowls, and he threw for 12 to 15 times a game. Marino was a gunslinger, and he's 0-1. Talking about 2 different eras.
Totally different.
Not even
eras.
fair to even putting those together. Let's be real, John.
It's okay. No,
and
it's
again,
all right, John.
sometimes you gotta sometimes you can have a historic. See, something has to be historic. You got to have a historic defense to do something like that.
Yep.
You got to have a historic run game to do something like that. What you're looking for is a unit to play at a historic level in order to make up for a average freaking quarterback. Something got to be historic, man. And trust me, if he threw the ball 12 to 15 times, that run game was on point.
And Evan wrote here, Josh Allen has not taken his own team yet, and his team is better, isn't it? But the issue is Josh Allen's a contender. The Buffalo Bills are a contender.
Yeah, they contending. That's all you can ask for, right?
At least, yes.
Would you take Evan and Donald both asked TD? Would you take Jimmy Garoppolo?
Nope. What I'm doing?
That's another Tua. That's another Tua with more experience.
What I'm doing? Trying to go to the Super Bowl and overthrow that one pass that win it all? Now, I get it. You can get there, but remember, was that defense not playing somewhat what you would call a historic level?
Yes. It's one of the best
last 2 years, haven't they had like a run game that was leaps and bounds ahead of other teams?
Yep.
Come on, man.
It's
This
not
is the
even
new
fair.
NFL.
And that's the thing. A lot of people forget that. And that's why I said that comment when, Bobby, you said, is Tua going to be a Pro Bowler?
Man,
people need to get off that train. It's all on Tua. There's nothing we can do. We can wish all we want. If Tua
Yep.
doesn't take the reign, forget it. It's not going to happen. We're just
This-
going to waste, and we're going to do what a player said last year. And I kind of have an idea who said it, but I'm not going to say who. When they said, I feel like I'm wasting my career,
Mm.
or I just wasted a year of my career.
One of our very own players.
One
And,
of our own players said that. I mean,
and
you have to, come on, man. Like,
we looked up the stats, man. This is a different NFL. 15 years ago, the
Yeah.
average passing yards was like 2,600.
yeah.
Nobody think about that. The average passing yards in the league was somewhere around 2,700.
3,000
Now
was
it's
like,
now it's
man,
3,700. The average.
average.
I mean, these things. The league is different now. This is not the same league.
No, you can't.
You
even
had guys
compare.
going to the Pro Bowl with 2,900 yards. Now, if you ain't reaching over 35 to 3,800,
Not even.
no.
You got to be close to 4,000, real close to 4,000, and have a really good TD to interception ratio to really even be considered. Because look, we got guys doing 5,000 a year consistently. 4,500 a year consistently. It's not even the same league. That's why I say Marino's the greatest quarterback of all time. It took over 30 years to break his records. Anybody that want to tell me otherwise, we'll go at it, but that's fine. As far as Tua is concerned, Tua has to show up because this is his last audition, if we're being honest. He will probably get another opportunity. But how many times did Teddy Bridgewater get an opportunity? Or did Sam Darnold? Or Mark Sanchez? Or what's the other one? Oh, the one with the punctured lung. Jeez. The one that played for the Chargers. That used to play, and then Herbert took over because he got
Philip
his
Rivers.
lung was punctured.
Phillip Rivers.
Oh no,
No, not
Tyrod
Phillip
Taylor.
Rivers.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Come on, how many opportunities these guys get? They were good at one point, but things happen, and they might have gotten opportunities, but now they're backups. Tua is slotted to be a backup, a really good backup.
He's
He
an
has to change the
NFL.
narrative.
Yeah, he's an NFL starter, but long-term projection could end up falling into a backup. I mean, does he deserve to be one of the top 32 in this league? If you look at the league, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know?
Absolutely.
Hey, let me ask you guys this, because Evan posted a good question. I mean, because most fans think like this, especially when they hear people like us talking about this, and I get it. But can we just be fans and will our team to success?
Well, haven't we done that for the last 25 years? Where's the success?
Thank you.
What do we need to do different? Have we not tried to will them enough? 25 years of willing this team, and you saying, can we will them to success? Show me where the success is. Do you spend money on this team? Do you cheer for them every Sunday? That is as much will as any of us can do. But where is the success? So I could be delusional, inebriated, and keep trying to will this team to success. But if it ain't working, what we supposed to do? Just keep on with the insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result? Nope, I'm fed up. At the end of the day, I'm calling it how it is, and until it changes, it is what it is. We have a right as Dolphin fans to call it how it is, and if it stinks, we're going to say it stinks, and if it makes the team look bad, it ain't our responsibility to make them look good. It's their responsibility for us to feel good, not the other way around.
And the way I see it is that we could will them during the season when we're trying to cheer them on Sundays. Other than that, we gotta be realistic. You know that
people. We've had since 2000. We've only had 5 winning seasons, and I'm not even counting last year because they gave us an extra year. So you take that extra year, we're back at 500. But actually winning seasons since 2000, only having 5. Like, what does that tell you? In 22 years, it's 17 years, we've been at 500 or below. Like, come on. It's the same wheelhouse that I mentioned earlier. We do great in the offseason. We won the offseason. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, negative Nancy, or whatever. But please, Yeah, there's a super homer me. You see my
Yeah.
super homer me, but there's also a realistic me, and realistic me is saying, "Tua needs to hurry up and ride this bull," or like I said, like my folks know, this Tua riding the flipping dolphin all the way to the Super Bowl. That's what he needs to do. At this point, it's all on him. There's nothing we can do about that.
Evan writes, "Are we not better than last year? That's something to cheer for."
No. See, Evan,
I'm not sure. I'll be honest.
You missed you missed the show, Evan, and you've been here the whole time. You've been here the whole time. Yeah, we better than last year. Is our opponents better? I mean, what are we cheering about? You know? I mean, we're trying. Listen, that's like saying I'm trying to buy a home. I'm trying to buy a home, right? I got $50,000, and my down payment gonna be $80,000. Man, I just got an extra $20K, man. We getting closer, but the house price went up $200,000, and now my goal is $120. You know, that's the same thing. So yeah, we got better, but our opponents got better. I mean, let me be clear here. Don't settle for what this team did. Do we still got $16 million?
Yeah.
Do we have the worst right tackle in the NFL right now?
Yes.
At least in our division. And
yes,
I'm just supposed to be like, oh, okay, we got two good guys. Yay. No, you got $16 million and you trying out a certified guard at center. You got $16 million and you out here playing around at the right tackle position, the quarterback that's supposed to take the next step, but it's his blind side, the same side that got him killed last year and sat him out for several games. And I'm just supposed to, that's something to cheer about. Yay, now back to business. Finish this team. Finish this freaking team. You know how we would feel if we go get JC Treader and another solidified, halfway decent right tackle right now?
Evan writes, sorry, TD, I'm inebriated.
The Dolphins do it to us all, man.
Evan for the win with that comment right there. Well, guys, I mean, take a look at it. Look, we're 168 and 185 since 2000 to now. 168 wins, 185 losses. Something's got to change.
Cheer them on.
Right there, John. Right there. What have you done for me? It makes me think of that Eddie Murphy comedy stand-up. I don't know if it was Raw or Delirious, but he said, what have you done for me lately? Well, I got it. What have you done for me lately? Yeah,
yep.
Perfect.
And look at what Kenna said. Why we keep looking at the smallest things to hold on to hope. That's what Dolphin fans do. Yep. As long as we make one or two big splashes, the big picture don't matter. We got hope. This is what we do. We go get Ndamukong Suh. Oh, it's over. We got the bet. It's like we're inebriated with spending money. It's like as long as we got the highest paid at a position, we feel some type of validation.
No, let me put it to you this way, TD. Yes, for what you just said, but let me put it to you this other way, guys. It's like the Dolphins have been so battered for the last 20 plus years.
Yes.
That we have nothing to really hope for, so we go for anything. And they know it. That's the part that frustrates me. They know it. That's why they don't give us the best or put the best thing on the field. Or the fact that we don't have or that fans can't even be on the field like we used to be. How close we were to the players. How right now you got that 1972 section that nobody's ever at. Like, come on, man. We are getting exactly what we pay for.
We've seen this
and
before.
Unfortunately, we keep paying for it. So they're going to continue to give us the same thing. Flash us with a couple of things, knowing full well this is going to shut them down for the rest of the season.
Right there, John.
And then after that, they will be fine, and they're still going to come. They're still going to support. Let's go Dolphins.
Yeah, we've been beat up so much that any little thing is like
anything
the Super Bowl for us.
John brought up, and what you and I'm totally with you, Miss Fence, what you just said. And John, I think fits perfect. Battered Finn syndrome. BFS. That's what fans have. It's like, and I hate to use it that way. It's like an abusive relationship. They always tell you it's going to be better. A bad relationship, you're with whatever. They keep telling you it's going to be okay. I'll be different. You're like, oh, don't worry. They're going to be different next year. It's the same thing. It's always the same thing. And people are so hyped about what could be, but they're not worried about what is. I feel like a dolphin on dry land, Evan. It's just what it is, man. Spot on, Miss Fins. This is why owner Steve Ross won't get another dime from me until he sells the team and we get a new championship or new ownership. Excuse me. When I'm in Miami next week, I'm wearing my gear inside out, Evan. Okay.
Wow.
You guys.
I actually have to run, man.
Yeah, we're gonna close this out right now, guys.
Right.
I think let's get the final say on this part. We could do it quick and we'll close it out. Again, you guys are watching Overtime. I thank Miss Fins and TD as always. Follow us on the PhinsTalk Network on Twitter and subscribe to the page. Of course, subscribe to their channels as well. But final, true or false, TD, are the Dolphins contenders?
Let me see if I'm inebriated. The truth is, all 32 teams are contenders, and I truly believe that. So true. You're contenders until you go out there and prove otherwise. So you always have a surprise team that shows you something that nobody expected. So yeah, we're contenders because, you know, all those 10 things that I said could make us pretenders. All of them can go right.
That's right.
The only frustrating part is all of them have to go right. Too many factors that have to go right. So, but they can. So that, as a Dolphins fan, is what we're hopeful for. And if we can get that, then we are contenders.
Awesome. Miss Fins?
I'm going to echo the same thing, to be honest with you. Realistic me says yes. Yes, we are.
And I'm with you guys. So to me, they are contenders, but there's dangers of being pretenders if what we discuss come true. Yes. So, guys, again, TD.
Contenders of inebriation.
That's right. We gotta, what do you call that? Copyright that. Inebriated contenders. TD, I know you've been trying to get through. You've been coughing. I appreciate you for taking your time out, my brother. Miss Fins, as always, friend of the show. Guys, go to their page, subscribe. Great content. I promise. It is what it is. It's real reality here. And of course, check out PhinsTalk Network. Thank you guys. We'll see you all next time. Fins up.
Bye-bye. Peace.